it's Wes.
And Chanda.
And welcome to DinkLife.
Today we are going to be talking about our second day at Universal Studios, continuing our Japan travel series. I am actually drinking Exodus, which is a red wine from the winery at Wolf Creek, where if you watched our video about the goat derby, that's where that came from.
And I'm super boring drinking my Elysian Space Dust. I'm sure some people will hate this, but yeah.
We've gotten critiqued that we shouldn't be drinking boxed wine and we shouldn't be drinking the same beer all the time. But, you know, that's what we have in our fridge.
Yeah.
So, however, I am drinking something different. This is not the box wine. Anyhow, we queued up early again like we had the first day. We sort of learned our lesson and we definitely knew that we wanted to get on a ride or two. So, again, once we got in the gate, the first thing we did was scan our tickets and get a time to go to Super Nintendo World. And that is simply just because, as we did say in our first video, if you don't get the merch you want while you're in there, you're probably not going to find it anywhere
Yeah, it's hard to
else.
find, yeah.
So, Wes had found a t-shirt he wanted, and we thought for sure we would be able to find it in another store in the park. And lo and behold, that was not the case. So we legitimately just got an entry time for Super Nintendo World to go back and buy merch.
Yeah. And while we waited for our time, though, we ended up riding the Hollywood Dreams roller coaster.
Correct, which was at the front of the park. So as soon as we got in, got our time, and then went directly to Hollywood Dreams and got in line.
Yeah.
Even at that, it was a 60-minute wait, like first thing when we got there. It wasn't too bad. I do think it was almost 60 minutes, somewhere between 50 and 60 minutes the wait.
Yeah, it was something like that.
But the line did move at a pretty good clip, so it wasn't too terrible. Now, I will tell you this too. They will not let you take or wear anything on that ride. Like, they give you a little card when you're about 3/4 of the way through the line, and it tells you, like, you can't wear earrings, you can't wear necklaces, you can't wear rings. So I pretty much just like tucked all that stuff into a zip pocket that I had, so they didn't know that I had it on me, but you are not allowed to wear any of that stuff on the ride or take anything with you for that matter.
Yeah, very strict that way.
Yeah, and they take your bags from you.
Yeah, and they locked them in lockers.
Yeah, and they lock them in lockers.
And the lockers are actually up by the coaster. You kind of walk through the coaster, put your stuff in lockers, and then get on the coaster.
Right. But I wasn't about to leave my wedding ring in there, even though I'm sure it would have been safe.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do that, make sure you take it off and put it somewhere secure before you get through the line, because they will make you take it off.
Yep, for sure.
So the other cool thing, though, is that once you get on the ride, it's a lot like Rip Rocket at Universal Orlando, where you can pick a soundtrack.
Yep.
And the cool thing was they had a couple of actually American songs on there. And one of them was Shake It Off by Taylor Swift, which is what I picked. And I was singing the whole way. Like, I was singing the entire time we were riding the roller coaster. For my money, the coaster doesn't look that fast or exciting when you're just watching it. But when you get on it, it's really fun.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good coaster, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very good.
Tons of good views of the park.
Yep, a lot of airtime.
Yeah.
I just highly recommend it. It was a great coaster. So then after we got off of that, we had also sort of learned from the day before to eat early. Because the lines for everything starting at lunchtime through the end of the day were completely insane.
Yeah.
So at 10:30, we got in line at Mels, which they have in, I believe, both other Universals in the U.S. I definitely know there's one in Orlando. Not sure if there's one in California, can't remember, but I think there is. I might be speaking out of turn. Either way, we decided to go in there and have all they have is burgers and fries. And just like with everything else there were not a ton of options. I would say there were maybe 4 choices of burgers.
Yeah, there wasn't
like
too many.
A plain burger, a cheeseburger, a barbecue burger, and I don't even remember what I had, like an avocado burger or something like that. And then it comes with a little side of fries and a tiny little drink. Again, portion sizes.
Yeah, very small drink. And maybe only like an 8 or 10 ounce.
Yeah, and you don't get refills there.
No
they fill them behind the counter, and that's what you get. So just, again, keep that in mind. From there, we decided to see a show that we had not caught the day before, which is WaterWorld. They don't have it at Florida here, but they do have it in Hollywood, and we had seen it before.
Yeah, we've seen it in Hollywood, yeah.
But it was a couple of years ago, so we kind of wanted to see if there were any differences, just see how things were different there.
Yeah, that was another one, though. I would say you want to get there early. We were there almost 40 minutes early, and it was packed. They filled the whole theater.
Yeah, they definitely did. Now, we got pretty good seats because of how early we were there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say as long as you're there about 45 minutes to a half an hour early, you probably won't get stuck like in the nosebleed seats or in the back row. We were pretty much in the center of the theater and about halfway down because we did not want to get wet. The cool thing was, I think it was pretty much exactly like the one in Hollywood.
Yeah, I would say it's exactly the same, other than everybody spoke Japanese.
Of course.
And then it was kind of interesting because they had a chunk of American actors in it too.
But they spoke Japanese.
Spoke Japanese.
So it was kind of weird because there was like a
blonde,
like a blue-eyed, blonde-haired lady that was the main character, the protagonist, and she was speaking fluent Japanese, so it was kind of cool actually.
Yeah, it was cool.
And because we had seen it in Hollywood, we knew what was going on, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. You're more just there to see the stunts and things like that. It was
an
a lot of
entertaining
fun.
show. I think it's a good show.
It was a really good show. We did actually tape it, and we have a video of that show on our channel.
Yeah, I could put the full show up.
Yeah, but it's really cool. So check that out.
It's a good show. Nobody really knows what the hell WaterWorld is anymore. It's just funny that they keep it around.
I mean, it's a good stunt show, though. So
it's a good stunt show.
And I'm sure they spent a lot of money building it, so that's probably why they keep it around. But that show was probably, 25 minutes to a half an hour long?
Yeah,
it's a lengthy show, so, as long as you wait, you do feel sort of like you're getting your time's worth, I think. Anyway, highly recommend. It's a good show, even though I've never seen the movie Waterworld. So then after that, we did explore an area that we hadn't gotten to the day before, which is kind of like their version of Kittyland. Yeah. And it was Peanuts.
Yep.
It was all Peanuts characters, they were everywhere. We were going to just like walk through it real quick and then get out just so that we could say we were in there. And I will tell you, there was some of the cutest stuff back there. The rides for the kids were very well done, I thought. Yeah. And just the theming in general of the entire area was really, really cute.
Yeah, it was really good. And it was like an Easter theming at the moment while we were there.
So it's very clear that we don't have children. I mean, that's kind of the theme of our channel. But I will tell you that we stood back there. There was a little ride.
It's a driving simulator for kids.
Yeah, it's like old-fashioned cars for kids, except they're not on a track. They literally just get to drive around. Yeah. This
like a
little
electric
road.
Go-kart for kids.
Yeah. And it is the most precious thing. We probably stood there for half an hour just watching it and giggling at the kids trying to drive.
Yeah, lots of wrecks.
The poor cast members that had to come out and help them all the time. But they were so happy. They were just so happy to be there. It was just very cute. We do have a little video of it. So I'm sure Wes will put that up. Okay. So then we made our way back to the front of the park, as there was a 4D ride that Wes wanted to do. He can tell you about it. I didn't go on it. I bought a box of popcorn and sat my butt on a curb.
Yeah, and I only waited in about line for 30 minutes. The show was called, which I think they changed this one out too, depending on which comic is popular at the time. But it was called
Juijusu Kaisen.
It was called.
I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
It was called Juijusu Kaisen 4D theater.
Maybe it was called that.
Yeah, and I've never watched the actual anime that it was after, but I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't anything like super amazing. It's kind of just like your ants thing, or like the Bugs ride at Disney World where stuff's poking you in your back. The seats kind of jiggle up and down. It was entertaining. Whole thing was in Japanese, so I have no clue what anything said. But like, if you're there, I mean, you're not gonna get that kind of experience anywhere else than at Universal Studios Japan. So that's kind of why I wanted to check it out.
So just a funny aside, while I was sitting there eating my popcorn, there was a couple sitting next to me, and then I looked away. I was looking around. I looked back over, and one of them had left their like phone wallet. It was like one of those wallets with a phone case in it, sitting there. And of course, being an American, I panicked. Like, I know in Japan, people leave their purses to hold tables, wallets, backpacks, and nothing happens to them. But as an American, I could not in good conscience leave that phone sitting there. So I picked it up and carried it around like this. And it took me like 15 minutes to find a cast member that spoke enough English that I could say lost and found. Just because A, I didn't want anybody to think I was taking it, but B, I just could not leave it sitting there. That's just one of those things that's ingrained in us, I think, as Americans.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it would have been fine, but I just couldn't do it.
Yep.
So, just to let you know, if that happens, you probably could leave it sitting there and it would be fine. I just couldn't do it. So, because we ate lunch so early, by about 1:30, we were getting a little snacky again. We didn't want to eat a full meal, but we did, we saw on another vlog, there was a little restaurant in the Jaws area.
Yeah.
And they had like almost like a Swiss roll, it looks like. It's blue, and then it has like a white filling. It looks like, and then it has a tiny little jelly, almost like a
shark
gummy
fin.
bear. Yeah, shark fin on the back. And allegedly, it tasted like cream soda.
Yeah,
like blue
it was
raspberry and cream soda. So we went in, stood in line, probably for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We actually hit a spot where it was like dead almost at that place, because sometimes.
So that's 15
Jaws
minutes
restaurant,
is dead.
Yeah, and this is like a fully themed Jaws restaurant.
Yeah.
Inside, very cool looking.
Yeah. So we got the cake and a beer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but especially at the parks, we noticed if you're ordering a beer, they will ask you if you're driving. I don't think they care about how old you are. Nobody asked us that.
No, they're just always concerned if you drove to the park.
You cannot even have one beer, not one. Your blood alcohol level can't even be like 0.1 or 0.01 or whatever. I don't know what the limit is, but like they will ask you when you order the beer, are you driving? Did you drive? So just be aware. It seems weird because nobody here asks you that.
Yeah.
But they do ask over there.
They will, yeah.
Yeah, they're very just very strict about it. So, but of course we weren't driving, so we got these gigantic beers and this tiny little cake.
Yeah. And then we just relaxed there for a little bit.
It wasn't terribly expensive. I think the little cake was like 500 yen. And the beer was like 600 yen. So honestly, it wasn't too bad. And the cake was tasty. Yeah. It really did taste like a blue raspberry soda with like cream cheese filling.
Yeah, the cake was really good.
Yeah, so I would eat it again. And definitely recommend trying it because it just looks cool.
Yeah.
So after we ate, we just decided, because we had been there a full day the day before, we were just going to head back to the hotel and get some laundry done. We hadn't had a chance to do any yet, but we did already talk about how the laundry works in another episode. Just kind of letting you know how our day went. The load of laundry took about 2 hours, really.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
Yeah, so we got some time to relax, rest, just, chill out in the hotel room while we were doing laundry. And then by the time that was done, we were ready to eat. We were ready for dinner.
Yeah, and we kind of just walked down and explored a little bit more of City Walk, just to hit every nook and cranny that we kind of missed, if we missed anything.
Yeah, so I know we talked about how that City Walk is laid out like in floors, but I will say they're not like a straight shot. It's not like a square. It's not just a straight hallway. There are like bends and turns and little nooks and crannies everywhere.
Yeah.
So we had just wanted to make sure that we didn't miss anything. See if there was any more merch that we wanted to buy. You might notice that Wes always wears baseball caps.
Yeah, so we were looking for a cap around there, but I have to say, they had a hat store in there. The hat store was... Every baseball cap we found in Japan was crazy expensive.
Like 30 American dollars or more.
Yeah, I think there might have been even more than that. Most of them I saw there were like $50 or $60 for a ball cap.
But the cheapest ones we saw were like 30, which that was rare, but even so,
it's just
around
not a common
here,
thing there.
Yeah. And it's strange because all the other merch was very reasonably priced.
Yeah, other than ball caps.
But the baseball caps, not so much. So I would say if you're looking for a ball cap in Japan and you really have your heart set on it, be prepared to spend some money.
Yep.
So.
And then, after that, we kind of went and looked for the place to eat.
Yeah. So we just recently, I would say about 2 years ago, discovered Hot Pot here in the States.
Yeah, first time in Orlando.
Yeah, the first time we ever ate it, one was in Orlando. We finally got some around us here in Northeast Ohio. So we made a beeline for the Hot Pot place.
Yeah.
And it was great. I mean, I'm glad we did.
Yeah, it was good. You basically paid for it was like a buffet style thing where you paid like a flat fee.
Yes, but one thing to note, I can't remember the name of the place. I think it was the only hot pot place.
Yeah, there's only one hot place in the whole place.
So just know, you have to pick the same meats. Like, you have to agree, whatever number of meats you get, you can get like 3, 6, whatever. There's, but you have to agree on the meats you're getting at the table. And then they bring them like stacked up.
Plate. Yeah, and I think we got about 6 or 7 to start with, and that's pretty much all we needed between 2 people.
We totally didn't. They gave us about 4 pieces in each tray.
Yeah.
So that was plenty for us. I don't recall how much the meal was, but the cool thing they have there is all you can drink alcohol. And for an American, it seemed dirt cheap. It was like 1,500 yen.
Yeah.
For all you can drink, which worked out to be about $12 or $13, which honestly, if you even just drink 2 beers, that pays for it. And the weird thing is you go up yourself and get it too. Like, they don't keep refilling it and bringing it to you.
They give you a timer. Basically, your thing has like a timer on your table, and you get 80 minutes to eat the alcohol. I think the eating was included in the 80 minutes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you eat and drink. All you can drink alcohol in 80 minutes.
Now, having said that, it's not like we got trashed or anything.
No, it's weak alcohol and all that. But it's still cool.
I think I had like 3 mixed drinks. And when I say mixed drinks, I don't remember what they call them. But they've got some like flavored alcohol. Kind of like you put flavor in your coffee here.
Yeah,
but
I thought they're just called flavors. Like alcoholic sours or something.
Yeah,
that's
and you just basically put a few pumps of that alcohol in there and then fill it the rest of the way with soda or tonic water.
Yep.
So I was drinking those. I think I had about 3 of them.
Yeah, and I had 3 beers.
Yeah, so I mean, we really didn't drink that much, but honestly, if you're paying for individual beers at like 400 or 500 yen a piece, by the time you drink 3, you've paid for it.
The coolest thing with the beers, though, is there's a little automatic beer pouring machine. You get a chilled glass out, and you basically just stick it in this little thing, and it automatically does the pour all for you exactly and pours it for you.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So the hot pot was good, very tasty.
Yeah.
Once they bring the meat to your table, you get up just like a buffet, and you go through the line, and you pick all the other things that you want.
And I have to say, this hot pot, out of all the ones we've probably been to, best broth.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was by far the best broth out of all the ones we've been to.
Most of the hot pots we go to, you get like 1 broth with your whatever you pick. Yeah. This place gave us 2. So it was kind of nice because we got a little bit of variety. Like, they bring it in a split little pot.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
But pretty much that was all we did for that day.
It was nice because I think we kind of we'd been going for like 5 days straight. And, even though we still went all morning, it was kind of nice just to have some time to relax and chill. So, yeah, that was pretty much our second day at Universal and Universal City Walk. And, I think we bought some more merch, some souvenirs to bring home to people. Yeah, that was our day. And just remember, as always, whatever you decide to do, just get out there and do it.